ساتوی پسروینو داد شهیدانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور ساتوی پسروینو داد شهیدانو کور داد کور داد باتورانو.
Good evening. Welcome to RTA News. Today is Thursday, June 26, 2025. Thanks for joining us. Foreign Minister Maulawi Amir Khan Muttaqi introduced Sheikh Saniullah Farahman as the new Great Ambassador and a Special Representative of Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan to Turkey at the Afghan Embassy in Ankara. The ceremony was attended by a number of elders and scholars of the Afghan community living in Ankara. Maulawi Amir Khan Muttaqi said that in promotion of relations between Afghanistan and Turkey to the level of ambassador was a sign of good cooperation and positive relations between the two countries. The meeting of the Central Commission for the Security and Liquidation Affairs was held under the chairmanship of the head of the Commission and Minister of National Defense, Maulawi Muhammad Yaqub Mujahid. The members of the Commission made a detailed assessment of the general security situation of the country and expressed their confidence in the current security situation. In addition, the officials of the relevant zones, based on the instructions of the leadership, described their trips before it as beneficial in terms of security and coordination and provided detailed information about the security situation in all provinces. Moreover, the participants of the meeting described the reliable security for the people during Eid as a result of the sacrifices, preparations, and efforts of the security forces, and thanked the efforts of the soldiers. Malaysia and Kyrgyzstan called for more efforts to recognize the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan as a part of the international community. Malaysia Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim told a joint press conference with Kyrgyz President Sadr Japarov that the two countries believe that Afghanistan should be accepted in the international community, taking into account some considerations. Mohammad Suhail Shaheen, the ambassador of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan in Doha, has discussed bilateral relations with the British Special Representative for Afghanistan. The Islamic Emirates ambassador to Qatar says he has spoken to the British diplomat about providing consular services to Afghans in the UK and humanitarian aid to Afghanistan. Here is the report.
The ambassador of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan to Qatar met with the new British Special Envoy for Afghanistan. During the meeting, Mohammad Suhail Shaheen and Richard Lindsay discussed humanitarian aid to Afghanistan.
I met with Richard Lindsay, the UK's Special Representative for Afghanistan, and Robert Dixon, the acting British Ambassador to Afghanistan. During our meeting, we discussed cooperation between the two countries, the provision of consular services for Afghans living in the UK, and treatment programs for addicts here in Afghanistan.
These meetings are considered important in boosting bilateral ties and interaction, as expanding relations with Britain can open the way for interaction with other Western countries.
The better our relations are, the more Europeans will follow it. Many Afghans live in the UK, and if the Afghan consulate reopens in London, I believe that it will solve many issues faced by Afghans residing there.
Richard Lindsay, who was appointed as a UK Special Envoy for Afghanistan in June, previously served as a UK's Deputy Director for Afghanistan and Pakistan until 2022.
Maulawi Ataullah Omari, Minister of Agriculture, met with Takaishi Kuromuya, Ambassador of Japan in Kabul. The meeting discussed cooperation in agriculture, livestock, horticulture, product marketing, and counter-narcotics. Referring to the effects of drought and climate change, the Minister of Agriculture called for more support for farmers and said that the implementation of projects should be transparent and coordinated by the government. He called for Japan's cooperation in creating global markets for quality Afghan products. The Japanese ambassador emphasized that this country will continue to provide sustainable assistance and that counter-narcotics is a priority. According to him, Japan has implemented projects worth more than $10 million in several provinces and considering projects worth $6 million this year. The Minister of Industry and Commerce says that there are currently about 6,000 industrial factories operating across the country. Speaking at the business gathering to invest in renewable energy, Nuruddin Azizi said that about 2,000 megawatts of electricity are needed to continue operating and providing these factories. Here is the report.
A trade conference on investment in renewable energy was held by the Office of the United Nations Political Officer in Afghanistan. The Minister of Industry and Commerce, who participated in the program, said that there are currently about 6,000 industrial factories operating across the country, and about 2,000 megawatt of electricity is needed to continue operating these factories.
Mr. Azizi, in the opening of his speech, stated that excessive production of harmful gases today negatively affects human life, while energy production is undeniable for advancing industrial life. Therefore, alternative energy sources must be pursued to prevent damage. The acting Minister of Industry and Commerce of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan mentioned the vast number of industrial factories in Afghanistan, saying that currently around 6,000 factories are operating across the country.
The spokesman of the ministry added that the Minister of Industry and Commerce said during his speech that the Islamic Emirate intends to increase the country's exports to $3 billion per year and increase the gross national products to $25 billion.
He added that they aim to increase exports to $3 billion and the gross domestic product to $25 billion shortly. By implementing the ministry's programs, employment for 500,000 people will be created, domestic production will grow, exports will increase, and industry will develop through expanding factories.
The Minister of Industry and Commerce also added that the Islamic Emirate is ready to use renewable sources of electricity in all factories in the country.
The Deputy Counter-Narcotics Office of the Minister of Interior Affairs, in cooperation with the Counter-Narcotics Directorate of Nangarhar Province, discovered and seized 8,400 tablets of the narcotic drug Decaf as a result of series of investigation operations in the Durbaba district of the province. One person has also been arrested in this regard and will be handed over to the judicial authorities after the completion of the investigation. In Tahar province, local officials inform about the illegal extraction and process of coal centers in Chal district of this province. In Bajghor, Sarban region, the legal centers of coal mining and the process of filing have been leveled with dozens of people to work on the ground. Also, coal smuggling and illegal mining centers have been prevented in this region. That was all for tonight. Thanks for being with us. Have a great night.
ساتوی پسرو وینو داد شهیدانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور ساتوی پسرو وینو داد شهیدانو کور داد